Hi, it's Dr. Turan, and you're listening to The Pop. The Pursuit of Peace podcast is brought to you by SP Consulting Group, where the mission is bringing your vision to life. Hi, and welcome back. It is me, Dr. Turan, and we are here again. Guess what? We are closer and closer and closer to the end of this month, another month in stay-at-home orders, right? At least in Los Angeles, I feel like everything is just status quo. Everyone's following the rules, and we haven't yet officially been reopened all the way, but we'll get there. We'll get there. Otherwise, we're staying at home, we're washing our hands, we're social distancing, only going out when we absolutely need to, and definitely working and recording from home. Right now, I'm actually in the closet because I need quiet, right? So, one thing that we're going to talk about today, definitely still keeping with Mental Health America and their tips and tools to thrive, we're going to make sure that we eliminate toxic influences. That's what we're talking about today. Eliminating toxic influences. Now, certain people, situations, they can be triggered. They can trigger us. And it all gets to the point where it can have an impact on yourself, your ability to feel like you're not engaging in destructive behaviors, and being able to know when there's toxic influence in your lives. And I mean, not just people, but situations, environments, taking steps to create boundaries. We need boundaries. Or just how can we change our whole setup and not be living with the people that we are experiencing to be toxic to us? Because ultimately, what are we doing here? We are seeking peace. We are on our pursuit of peace, right? But as we are talking about eliminating toxic influences, we're talking about the ability to use this to help improve your mental and physical health over time. Now, guess what? Just as far as some fun facts, do you know that toxic friends is actually something that's common? I mean, 84% of women, 75% of men report having toxic friends at some point or another. And the fact that we call them friends and they're toxic is definitely not what we're trying to do. Approximately 3/4 of U.S. employees have or have had a toxic boss. And this is according to Monster.com and their 2018 survey. We'll probably see it again in another 2 years or actually towards the end of this year. We'll see. We'll check it out and see if those stats change. But 3/4 of U.S. employees have or have had a toxic boss. Now, I talk about making sure that you can get a boss that practices servant leadership. That's what we need. That is not what we're talking about here. And one more statistic before we go into the particular recommendations is an average of 80% of Americans have experienced emotional abuse. Now, a lot of people may figure that if you didn't get hit, that, oh, you're not in an abusive relationship. If someone is emotionally abusing you, they should be officially considered toxic and they need to not be in your life, right? So a lot of situations we want to look at, a lot of people we want to look at. And like I said, this is not just about people. There can be toxic environments. That's why a lot of times when I am talking with coaches and senior executives about cultural transformation, we're speaking in regards to psychological safety of a place. What are we doing to make sure that we feel safe, not just in our physical, but that we're not having our mental overloaded with negativity and toxicity, whether it's from colleagues, coworkers, your boss, your senior level executives, or even just the workplace culture. Maybe you didn't know it was toxic at first, but it turns out to be heavy in competition and or lack support, feedback, and the things that you feel you need to be heard. That isn't going to help you stay engaged. So again, we're not just talking about people being toxic, but we're also talking about environments. So let's even talk again in regards to toxic people. Do you have any toxic people in your life? Well, the way that you would know is by looking at a few characteristics, and we're going to dig into them a little bit here. And some of this you guys may have just gotten a briefing on when we did our YouTube channel video in regards to toxic people and their traits. We're going to dig into this a little bit, me throwing in a little pieces in regards to what I may have dealt with, but we're going to dig into it a little bit more than we did on the YouTube channel, which is why you need to find me over here at the Pop, right? The Pursuit of Peace podcast by your very own Dr. Turan, right here. I would say right here in the flesh, but we are social distancing, and I am still sitting on the floor in my closet giving you guys these great tips because I want it to be quiet, and I have a 2-year-old. So we're figuring this out. All right, traits of toxic people. Toxic people, and this is, again, I'm getting this from the Tips to Thrive from Mental Health America and the toolkit that they have. So if you have access to it, you can go there. Also giving it another plug in there for you all to go ahead, and if you haven't already, give yourself your screening, your mental health screening. It's at MHAscreening.org. So that's MHAscreening.org. I think we got it. Either way, mentalhealthscreening.org. If you feel like you're struggling with this situation or any of the others that I've talked about during this Mental Health Month series, and it's affecting your mental health, you can go there, do that screening, and definitely make sure to check out your symptoms. It's free, it's confidential, it's anonymous. Once you have your results, Mental Health America actually will give you information and resources to help you start to feel better. But I also recommend, in addition to that, give me a call. Reach out to me. You can reach me quickly if you go through my website. Actually, go on the Get Connected page, and it's at www.officialspconsultinggroup.com. And that's again www.officialspconsultinggroup.com. And it is 2 G's back to back for the end of consulting and the beginning of group, okay? It's not just 1 G. Okay, let's get back. I digress. So, traits of toxic people. Toxic people, and I hope you guys are writing this down. Hopefully, if you're in the car listening to this, you pull over, write it down, or replay this later, because then you can write it down and take notes and just think about this to see if you are dealing with toxic people that you may need to sort of have them exit stage left of your life, right? So toxic people, the traits, building up momentum, okay, here. Making sure you have time to get your pen and your pencil. That's all I'm doing. All right. Manipulation. Toxic people are often very good at this. They seem like they're interested, whether it's in your company or they want to get to know you. Eventually, though, they use the information that they gain from these discussions. They may be asking a lot of questions. Oh, so what do you do here? And what about this? What about that? And you're just like, oh, yeah, I do this, I do that. They use that information and they try to get you to do what they want you to do. So they use that to twist it, twist your words, twist how you feel, make you feel guilty. Manipulators, master manipulators. Okay. So let's stay away from the masters. Let's stay away from those that are just novice and they're just testing to see how far they can go with you, beware of these people. Remove them from your life or minimize your interaction with them if you really do have to be around them, right? Okay, next one. They make you feel bad about yourself. This is horrible. Okay, so they may give insults, whether it's in a direct way, or they say a little something that's underhanded and then they act like they feel bad. But most of the times, the way that it affects your self-esteem is super subtle. Like it's a gradual thing. It's sort of under the rug. But when you feel happy or you're proud of yourself about something, they'll find a way to twist it and just be super sour and negative about the situation, or even downplay your achievements. If you're like, oh my God, I just got this new job and it's during the pandemic. Oh, look at God. If you're doing all of that, and then they're like, yeah, that's nice. Or, if it's a dude or someone with a deep voice, they do, yeah. Oh, okay, that's nice. They may also act like they're smarter than you and try to make you feel dumb or insignificant. So just be careful. They do make you feel bad about yourself. Pay attention. Be mindful of what you're feeling when you're around these people, okay? Another one is being judgmental. Everyone can be judgmental at some point or another. See the negative before the positive, but these people are mostly judgmental. It's not like sprinkled here and there. That's their baseline judgment. They see things, okay, black and white, and they just criticize everything and don't agree with you. It's always a reason for, you got, yes, but type of people where it's, yeah, but it's something that they always try to do to downplay the circumstances of how you feel, all of that. Okay. They're extremely judgmental. The next one is negativity. I mentioned that a lot already. Some just can't seem to see the good in anything. It's always something that's negative. It's always a problem. It's just something's always wrong. It's hard to even have them talk about something and like, oh, did you enjoy yourself? And it's always, yes, but, or, well, so is it even worth having a conversation with someone like that? Maybe, especially if you don't know if you can get away from that person. But if they need help, if you need help, let them get help. Because it could be that they're negative, just their negativity is just coming from depression or the way that they present anxiety or low self-esteem. But if they are truly beyond able to help in any way, do yourself a favor and just try to figure out a way to minimize contact or move on. Okay. The next one is having passive aggressive behaviors. And this is basically where they express that they're discomfort, that they're not content. Okay. They're having a conversation about their problems, and this type of, it's a level of hostility. It's less obvious than anger, because anger, of course, can be shown in different ways in different people, but they're purposely doing something and not doing something to make things inconvenient for someone or get them upset. So let me just say that again. I'll say the whole thing. Some forms of passive aggressive behavior include snide comments, sabotaging, what it is that you're trying to do, purposely doing something or not doing something to make things inconvenient for you or to get you upset. So I guess it would be, they know that you would get upset if, I don't know, their particular shirt got messed up. So they purposely act as if, oh, I didn't know, I didn't mean to. It's like, wait a minute. You knew that if this shirt, and this is the example I'm giving, obviously I'm in the closet around other things, but you are purposely trying to tell them and let them know that what they did was it was on purpose. You put my shirt in a particular place so that I'd get upset. But then you're like, no, I didn't do that to get you upset. And it's like, but what other reason if you know that I get upset about you putting my shirt here because it gets dirty, it gets stained, whatever, I paid this certain amount for it, whatever the case may be. Either way, that was just a very random example. But again, because I'm in the closet, the only things on my mind are the shirts, I guess. Anyway, self-centered. Toxic people are self-centered. They care mostly about themselves. They don't really think about how their actions will affect anybody. They believe that they are on top of the world, above anyone else. And someone that's self-centered they're focused on getting what they want, period. And when it's all said and done, even though you try to talk with them about changing their behavior, oh, you've been hurtful to me, could you not talk to me in that way? They know, and then they repeat it. So they just keep doing it. And then you're like, hey, I'm still talking about this. Why am I still talking about this? Shoot, you even say, I keep talking about this. Well, because you keep doing it and they know it. But that's just the way that they are. They're manipulative, remember? So again, another sign that it's time for this person to go. The last one that is listed here, and like I said, I'm following along these tips to thrive so you can get pretty much the same thing that I'm looking off of to help you if this is something. And you can download this. It is a free source on mentalhealthamerica.org. So the last one that I'm going to cover before I let you guys go is controlling. Wow. That's something that can be subtle as well. I mean, being controlling is one of the most toxic and dangerous characteristics of someone that you definitely need to have exit stage left or right. Either way, they have to go. I mean, they try to restrict your behavior. They don't want you talking to certain people, whether it's your family, your friends, or they even limit your resources. For example, you can't work because this is how I feel about this, role that you're supposed to have. And, so when it's time for you to go out, you got to use a certain car. You have to have only a limited access to money. That's restricted. Your ability to be around other people and just interact in the world, that all is restricted. Restricted movement, restricted communication. And ultimately, if you didn't figure it out by now, this is domestic abuse. And you have to act on it ASAP. Like ASAP. It only escalates. It only gets worse. You cannot allow this to happen. And if you need help, reach out and get the help you need. Some of the resources that you could take away from this particular podcast episode on eliminating toxic people or eliminating toxic influences is what the tip is. Eliminating toxic influences. One of the things, if it gets to the point of domestic abuse, or even the fact, like I said, some of this can be automatically, like just from what I described, considered emotional abuse, call 1-800-799-7233. That's 1-800-799-7233. And if you're calling on behalf of someone that may have a need for assistance with their hearing, they can call the TTY. And it's it's the same thing. It's 1-800-799-7233. But if someone is unable to speak on the phone, someone can then help them, or if they may already know they just can't speak because of the situation, because they're in that controlling environment where they can't access the phone. Maybe they have a computer and instead they can log into the hotline. That's one word, THEHOTLINE.org. And that's THEHOTLINE line.org. Or maybe it's the reverse. They can't talk because again, they're in a situation where they're afraid for their safety. All they have to do is text love is as one word, LOVEIS. Text that to the number 22522. I'm going to say that again, 22522, and text love is if you cannot talk, but you're trying to seek help. Say you do have your cell phone, but you can't call and speak with someone. You can text and just pretend that you're doing something else. You're on a different app. I don't know. You're looking at TikTok, whatever, put your earphones in and just go ahead and text and they could help you. Again, this is the traits of toxic people as we talk about in general, eliminating toxic influences. And all of the toxic people have definitely a lot of these characteristics. And I'm just going to list them again for those that are taking notes. It's manipulation. They make you feel bad about yourself. They are always judgmental. They are always negative. They are passive aggressive. They're self-centered. They have difficulty. Oh, I don't even think I read that one. They have difficulty with anger management. That's someone that has trouble with their anger. You feel like you're walking on eggshells all the time. The littlest things trigger them. They may be apologies the day after, but they often aren't sincere. And these toxic people will just continue that. So I think I skipped over that one. So let me start from the beginning. Manipulative. They make you feel bad about yourself. They are always being judgmental. There's a lot of negativity, passive aggression, self-centered, difficulty with anger management, and they're controlling. So those are all of them. I think that's 9 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. So either way, definitely feel free to take some notes on this, refer it to a friend, and of course, I want you to give me a call. I am a licensed mental health therapist. I also am a certified coach, whether that's a career coach, also executive coach. I'm just here for you to help bring your vision to life. I specialize in healthcare providers in order to support and help you all mitigate burnout like I've had to for myself, because I'm still on this pursuit of peace. And I know that you are. So take some time, share this with a friend, especially those that may need it. But I look forward to you guys joining me again. Next week, we are going to have a guest. Next week, we are talking about creating healthy habits. That's creating healthy habits. It's going to be the discussion for next week, next Friday by 5. You'll have that. And so we're finishing up Mental Health Awareness Month, right? So we have a podcast that I did. It's going to be published on Monday, and it's not your average BS podcast, not your average BS podcast. I want you guys to join me there. Will there be Monday? They are on Anchor. We will be talking about mental health as well, some of the things that are regarding burnout and what you can do to prevent it, and just some of the differences that we say have a way of coming about for the different generations. That's what I'm trying to say, the different generations. And so we talk about that. We had a great conversation. So again, we are going to be on the Not Just Another BS podcast. We're going to be there Monday. Okay, so check us out, Anchor. Check out all of my social media. You can catch me at the SPC Group. That's THESPC GROUP. And if you want to find me on Twitter, it's all the same thing, just with the underscore. So it's for Twitter. You find me at the SPC Group _ Okay. So next week, our guest is going to be Miss Angela Stinsel. She is a dietitian. She's going to be talking to us about the different behaviors that come up, the intersect of mental health and our eating habits. Okay. So it is going to be super fun. We're going to have another good time with another expert. And again, her name is Angela Stencil, and she is going to be coming to us with some jewels for sure. Okay. So I can't wait for you all to join me again. I'm Dr. Turan. I'm your host, and we will see you all next week with Miss Angela Stencil. Okay? All right. See you then. And as usual, continue to pursue peace. Okay? All right. If you need me, www.officialspconsultinggroup.com. Okay? That's www.officialspconsultinggroup.com. See you next week.